Well, it's been 25 years and the game still won't save my track designs. You know, I hate to be a pessimist, but I don't know, something tells me it probably never will. And I'm gonna give Nintendo 3 more years before I just give up hope. Alright, 5 more years, but then that's it. Released to the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1985, EXCITEBIKE was the definitive motocross game of the 8-bit generation. But Nintendo's quadrilateral gray console wasn't the game's first lap. Although EXCITEBIKE's star shone brightest on the NES, the game was also released to arcades and Japan's Famicom a year earlier. Now, Nintendo left EXCITEBIKE largely untouched for its American debut, and the options for saving and loading track designs attest to that. Essentially the Japanese version of the NES, the Famicom supported a data recorder which allowed players to save their track creations in EXCITEBIKE. Obviously, the NES did not, but like a cruel tease from across the Pacific, Nintendo left those options in the menu for the American version. Yeah, real cute, guys. Good thing you shut down the power line. Otherwise, I'd still be calling you on a daily basis just to complain and to ask for some kind of NES firmware update. Fortunately, aside from staring at options that didn't work and dreaming about what saving your track designs might be like, EXCITEBIKE was an otherwise full-throttle game of 8-bit excellence. Designed by Shigeru Miyamoto, EXCITEBIKE shared the same charm and irresistibly simple gameplay that made his Donkey Kong games so popular. Predating the X games by about a decade, EXCITEBIKE is a racing game featuring colorful, high-flying dirt bikes. You race through 5 tracks loaded with all sorts of ramps and bumps and mud pits. Obstacles which make finishing the race within the required time limit an addictive exercise in old-school D-pad dexterity. Of course, it doesn't take long to play through all 5 of those tracks, so even for an NES game, EXCITEBIKE's single-player content sort of blows a tire. But even so, the game's a blast while it lasts. You accelerate with the A button, but you can also push your engine even harder with the B button. It makes your bike go faster, but it also comes at a cost. The more you use B, the hotter your engine becomes. And unless you want to spend a few precious seconds on the sideline, the last thing you want to do is overheat your engine. Simple as its controls are, there's also a nice amount of depth in terms of mastering the game's mechanics. In addition to balancing your acceleration, keeping your wheels on the track also helps maintain speed. Tilting your bike in mid-air to land on both wheels is a fine science that can make you motor, or if you get the angle wrong, crash and burn. EXCITEBIKE also increases its single-player CCs with its pioneering track editor. Even with its useless save system, the editor is still an excellent feature that pushes EXCITEBIKE into the status of a full-fledged classic. Using any of the obstacles used in the standard tracks, you can design and race on your own courses. Now, by modern standards, that may not sound like much, especially without the ability to save, but it was one of the first racing games to include that kind of feature, and over the years, it's come to define EXCITEBIKE. Nintendo's been revisiting the Excite label a lot in recent years, with games like Excite Truck, Excite Bots, and more explicitly, EXCITEBIKE for WiiWare. And yet, while they're all good games in their own right, they don't have quite the same charm as the original. It's simple and it's pretty thin on content, but there's an innocent purity to its design that makes EXCITEBIKE as fun as it is timeless.